Hey everybody, welcome back from spring break. I'm basically trying to lie to myself and say that we still are on spring break, but unfortunately we're back at it. Fourth quarter though, that's exciting. Only 42 days of school and you guys are headed to the high school. So got a couple things we want to finish up. Definitely want to get through Unit 9 here, and then we're going to kind of start getting ready for state testing. You guys are actually taking a high school test this year in your air test, so it counts towards your graduation. So hopefully you guys have been paying attention this whole year as we've been going through all this great material in Algebra I. And we'll try to review that stuff a little bit before the test. We get through Unit 9, do a little bit of review, and then we can basically do whatever we want from there. There's still some units in the book. I'll probably pick and choose kind of what I want to cover with you guys. But today, we've been talking about quadratics for 2 units now. We factored, hopefully you guys remember this stuff. We factored, we graphed them, we looked at the shifts, we looked at the domain and range and all that good stuff, right? Now we want to actually talk about solving a quadratic. And when we solve a quadratic, what we're looking for are called zeros. Zeros are just the x-intercepts of a quadratic equation. And technically we could use the word zeros for more than just quadratic functions, but for our intents and purposes right now, we're just talking about zeros as quadratics. And so what we're going to be looking for is, where does this thing cross the x-axis? So we know we have a parabola. So there's a couple different cases we could have. I could have something that looks like this. Right? Here's my parabola. It looks like it has a negative a coefficient. It looks like it's been vertically shifted up. Maybe 2, something like that. But we don't really care about any of that stuff right now, which is great. We care about, where does this thing cross the x-axis, right? Our x-intercepts. What's going on there? So in this case, it's going to cross at 2 different spots. So if we're talking about a solution here, the spot where they cross, we could say that x equals, we could say 3 comma negative 3, both of those. You could say plus or minus 3 in this case because it's both the 3's. But it's going to have 2 solutions. There's 2 places where this thing is going to cross the x-axis. And so both of those are going to be our x-intercepts. That happens a lot of the time, where we're going to have 2 solutions. That's the most possible solutions we could have here with a parabola. However, we have some other options as well. I'm going to try not to ruin my graph here too much. There we go. So we can also have the situation where my vertex is directly on the x-axis. So here's my graph still. And this time my graph looks something like this. There we go. So it's been shifted to the right, but I can see it only is going to cross the x-axis now at 1 spot. My vertex is literally sitting on top of that x-axis. And so in this case, my solution here, I'm only going to have 1. Just x equals 4. 4 is the only place where this is going to cross the x-axis. And so last time I had 2 solutions. This time I have 1. Our other option, I'm just going to leave that up there actually, would be something like this. Maybe my vertex is negative 3, negative 2. And we'll make it really wide. That'll be fun, right? If I can draw, that'd be fun. So let's say we had this one. It looks like it's shifted left, shifted down, and definitely wide. Maybe as an a coefficient, that's negative 1/4 or something. But where does this one cross the x-axis? Well, you can tell it doesn't, right? So sometimes we're going to have no solution, or a better way to say that would be no real solution. Pretty sure we're not going to deal with non-real solutions, but you will when you get to Algebra II. So you'll kind of talk about that. But those are kind of your options, right? It's going to cross twice, it's going to cross once, or it's not going to cross at all. So in this case, we would just have a no real solutions. You can just write no solution for this case. But the better term is no real solution. So, a couple things. On your homework, when it says like graph something, this is an excellent case where we really don't have to graph this, right? This is a great opportunity to use our technology and just throw this in Desmos and just see what it looks like. Because as long as you understand that where this thing crosses the x-axis is going to be the solution, we already took a whole unit on, you know how to graph them and what the domain looks like and making a table. All right, I know you can do that stuff. So now let's not worry about it. Let's use the technology. So you can definitely throw these in Desmos and look at the x-intercepts. As long as you know what you're looking for is where these things cross the x-axis, that's a great jumping off point for us today on our first day back. Tomorrow we're going to look a little bit more about how we can mathematically solve for those without the graph and go from there. But yeah, that's for you guys today. All right, welcome back. Let's finish strong. Let's get this thing done with. I will see you guys later.